Everyone. As ma'am, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Before I'm not going into the introduction from where I am, basically I'll brief about what Grammarly is and how we are introducing in India. We are introducing it through Total Library Solutions. Total Library Solutions is the exclusive authorized agent of Grammarly. So this is how we are introducing Grammarly software in India. So for all the academic institutions, and if we say about subscribers, we have 500 plus institutions including Delhi University who are using this software in their day-to-day activities and the work activities including. Now before going into the depth what this software is, what are its main features in terms of data security, I'll basically highlight what we will be covering in this session. We'll be covering what Grammarly is, what are its base, what are its roots, and then coming into the licenses type, what are the licenses type available. Then we will be covering the features, what are its main features, how the users can customize their own profile to enhance the writing, to enhance their research work, what they are doing, including as the plagiarism detection, generative AI, rephrasing, all these features which makes Grammarly as a unique special tool or a writing assistant generative AI tool. Apart from these, we will be covering about data security, like there are researchers who work on daily basis on day-to-day lives, so they upload their data which is very confidential, which is not being in the market or which has not been released. So that is also there, that is also the most important part. Now before everything, I would like to clarify, because this is the main issue, this is the main question, what comes up in all the users, in the mind of all the users, is the type of license. So you will see on the Grammarly's website, there are different types of licenses available. You will see Grammarly Premium, you will see Grammarly for Education, Grammarly for Business, Grammarly for Entrepreneur. So these are the 4 different types of licenses which you will see on the website. If you'll open one link, another third-party link, or any other links on the Google's or any search engine. So these are the only 4 basic names which are available. So now for all the academic institutions, there is only one type of license, which is Grammarly for Education, or you can say Grammarly for Education Premium license. So this is the only type of license which is available for the academic institute. Now the question comes up, what is the difference between in all these 4 different types of licenses? There is no difference. If we see about the features, about the accessibility of the software, there are no difference. Only difference is why there are so different types of licenses, just to identify the type of users from the Grammarly backend. When we say Grammarly Premium, it is considered as an individual user. Somebody has taken directly from the Grammarly's website for himself or herself. That is the individual subscription. That somewhere cost, the price for individual subscription is $180, which is very high. The standard price of Grammarly is very high. So this is the type of license. So for all the Delhi University users, they have the access for up to 1000 users. That can be re-add-on, add-on and delete-on option is there. That is for 1000 users, and the name of the license is Grammarly for Education, or you can say Grammarly for Education Premium license. So both are same. Is irrespective of the features, everything is same. So there is no confusion. If somebody comes up, if any student is using, they have some queries that we need premium license, like we handle NKRC National Knowledge Resource Consortia. So it's a part of all CSIR lab, all DST lab and all MOES lab. So they are the scientists using Grammarly software for their day-to-day life. So they have a confusion between Grammarly Premium and Grammarly for Education. They comes up like this, we need Grammarly Premium access, or we don't have the premium access of Grammarly. So there is no confusion. The type of license is Grammarly for Education. Now I'll quickly start what Grammarly is. Grammarly was founded in 2009 by the education experts, and the basic agenda behind introducing this kind of software, which can correct English, which can correct spelling errors, punctuation errors, only in this recent stage when it was introduced in India or introduced worldwide, the basic agenda was to help the students communicate effectively, or to help the users communicate effectively. Only this was the basic agenda. Since then this product, as per the requirement, as per the users requirement, as per the industry requirement, this product has evolved, and now today we can say it is a complete package. This software is a complete package which comes with your error-free writing, which makes your error-free writing which acts as a proofreader 24/7, or you can say it acts as a tutor which can assist you wherever you are and whenever you are using the software. Only there is one condition: you should have the premium access of the Grammarly software, which is being provided by a Delhi University. You can see they have like the head office is in Canada. Grammarly's head office. It's a little bit history about Grammarly. They have head office in Canada, but apart from this, they have access team, and the invoicing team sits in different parts. They have a team in San Francisco, they have a team in New York, they have a team in Vancouver. And at present, we have plus more than 30 million daily active users around the worldwide who all are using Grammarly software into day-to-day life, which includes, when I say users, users are research scholars, professors, students, UG and PG students, and apart from this, we have the users, non-academic users, academic users, IT professional, and including the commercial users too. And now coming to the subscribers, as I just mentioned in the starting, that we do have 500 plus institutions subscribing to this software. I'm not going into detail who all are the subscribers. Now coming to the next slide, why Grammarly? You'll see there are so many softwares available like Grammarly, which who says or who commits that it is similar to Grammarly, we are similar to Grammarly. So what makes Grammarly as a unique feature or as a unique software? There are four basic things, four important things which makes Grammarly a very unique feature. First is, it is acting as a plagiarism detection tool. So Grammarly acts as a plagiarism detection tool. You all can detect your plagiarism before submitting your document at the further level, wherever you want to submit your document. Either it is to your educators if you are a student, if you are a scholar, if you are a professor, you are doing some research, you wanted to submit to the national or international level. So before the submission, you all can check your plagiarism before it occurs. When I say it is a plagiarism detection tool, so it will detect your plagiarism from more than 17 billion journals, databases, newspapers and magazines from international publishers. So all the major publishers are included in this. This is one of the main feature. Now coming to second is, it is a citation generator tool. So let's say there are some of the references which you would like to give in your document, but if you are not citing it, it will come into the plagiarism. It will be a plagiarized document and that will be rejected. So with the help of the citation generator which Grammarly offers, the users, so you all can citate your document. There are three different styles, which is APA, MLA and Chicago. After this PPT, I'll walk you through the practical platform and I'll walk you through how you can customize, upload documents, you can save your document, how you can configure Grammarly into your different applications which you all are using into your system. Coming to the third part, one is we have covered plagiarism detection, second is citation audit or citation generator, then third comes is rephrasing. You might have heard this word, rephrasing. There are so many softwares who can do only rephrasing, or you can copy the rephrasing part and just insert into the document. But apart from this rephrasing, with Grammarly's rephrasing name is increase the impact of your text. With this name, you will see when you upload or when you write on Grammarly editor version, increase the impact of your writing. This is something called rephrasing. So you click on that link, it rephrases your document, that too with specific customizations. If you are not satisfied with the result what Grammarly has given you in one time, you can rephrase it, you can brainstorm, you can click on the topic that there is the option brainstorm. You can click on it, and that is why it can give you a couple of more rephrasing parts, and that too if there is a document for 200 words, it will rephrase in another further words, it will rephrase in another words. So that will be a polished document, that rephrasing part that Grammarly comes up with. Now the fourth option which Grammarly offers is generative AI. As I just mentioned, it is a AI writing assistant tool. It is an inbuilt AI software, artificial intelligence. So the name of Grammarly's AI is, you'll see with the name of generative AI. What generative AI, what is the feedback or what is the outcome of this? The basic agenda about Grammarly's generative AI is, you can generate the ready-made, handmade, human-made text. You can only get the reference. When I say reference, it is actually a reference. If somebody will type that write a report or prepare a project on XYZ project or XYZ topic, this will block you. Grammarly will say you are trying that Grammarly should write your assignments. That is not possible. So it is there that nobody while using Grammarly's generative AI, they can cheat. The students cannot cheat while using Grammarly generative AI, or they can simply copy. Let's say they are copying some of the AI content from some other software. They are copying because nowadays Grammarly is inbuilt in all the softwares, all the social platforms. You are using WhatsApp, there is Meta. So you can get the generative, ready-made draft, ready-made any information. You give it a command to Meta, it will give you the reference. Even though you give it a command like write a project or write a report, it will give you. So what students or what other, basically the students do is they copy from other reference if Grammarly is not giving, and they paste it in the document. So along with it, it comes with plagiarism detection and AI detection. So Grammarly can detect if the document is AI generated, that can also be detected with the link, with the reference. So with the help of plagiarism detection and AI detection, if the document is plagiarized, Grammarly will say you that let's say 92% of the document is plagiarized. Here is the link with the copy link. There is option to copy link. On the side by side, there will be option if you want to citate APA, MLA, Chicago styles are there. You can cite it in different reference. If that is still required in the document, you can give the reference to the authors or whatever document is being copied. So these are the specific features which makes Grammarly, apart from correcting spelling errors, punctuation errors, because that is very nowadays it's a very easy thing. Any software which is coming up in the market, they can do it, but that too up to some level of extent. But what Grammarly is, there are no limitations. When I say no limitations in uploading the document, checking the documents, nothing is there. So it is a complete access with no limitations in every manner. Yes, there are few limitations onto uploading the document size, that is 4 MB, 10 MB, that is like that. But apart from this, even if you are using generative AI, there are also no limitations onto that. Now coming to rest of the features, like these are the features what I mentioned that makes Grammarly a unique feature. Now at what level Grammarly is actually checking your errors in terms of spelling errors, in terms of making your document error free. So these are the 4 basic features: Grammarly spelling and punctuation. Grammarly spelling and punctuation, it means it will simply correct your spelling errors, punctuation errors, or any vocabulary error is there, that will correct under this feature. Clarity and conciseness. When I say clarity and conciseness, so there is an option when we do the customization or the user do customization for the on profile. Clarity means on the basis of your customization, Grammarly will make sure that your message is in that direction, in the direction what you have customized to your readers. So that is what Grammarly makes sure. It will rewrite your full sentence to keep your message clear, concise and easily understood. Now third comes as tone suggestion. It is there, let's say you are looking, you are writing a document and you want to sound positive in that, or you want to sound negative, optimistic in that. So you wanted to give that message that your document should display that it is in arrogant manner, it has been written in arrogant manner, or it is showing a positive impact. So with the help of this option, before writing your document, you can select your tone. Let's say you are writing an email to somebody and you want to sound positive, or you are writing a positive email to somebody, you are writing a negative email, you want to give some feedback, and that too a negative feedback. So that comes up with tone suggestion. Now fourth is, which we are discussing since starting, is plagiarism and citation, plagiarism detection and AI detection, plus which comes with citation generator in 3 different styles: APA, MLA and Chicago. Coming to data security, what I just mentioned, that will be covering about data security too. You all can see on the screen that they do have certification. Grammarly has certification in compliances with SOPA, with COPRA, FERPA, with HIPAA. Like we have Seema ma'am sitting here from IT team, computer center, so she'll be able to understand more about these. So what the basic agenda is, or what Grammarly says is, that they make money while selling their subscriptions, while selling their software. They don't make money by selling the data of the users. And how it is also displayed You can see these are the comps that they have certification and compliances with these many. So they are working on daily basis on behalf of Grammarly to find out if there is some bug inside or if there is some bug from the backend. So they work on daily basis. So we can say that data on Grammarly is 100% secure. Why secure? Because every individual, once any institute subscribe, every individual has their own ID and password, and that too on the institutional email IDs. So you have your access, you have your own ID, you have an option. When you are done with using Grammarly, when you are done with working on your document, you have an option to delete it. Once you delete it, it will be there in your trash folder for 30 days if you keep it in trash. If not, there is an option to empty your trash for forever. Once you delete from trash, once you delete from your editor version, if you want to recover, let's say you have deleted it accidentally and you want to recover that particular document from Grammarly's backend, that is not possible. So it is very important that if you are using Grammarly, working on any specific document, please make sure that you are saving a copy in your document before deleting it, because the data is 100% secure. You will not be able to recover it if it is being done unintentionally too. This is something based on a research that there are graduates who join corporates. Once after completing their graduation, the students keep on searching for the job as a side by like if they are looking for a good job, if they are having a 1 year of gap, 2 years of gap, or they are doing something in hybrid more or like that. So they keep on searching for jobs. Similarly, this is based on a survey that says that 66% of employers state that graduates are not very well prepared to communicate effectively through writing. So this is one of the major hurdle which employer sees when they have a new joinee, especially if he or she is a graduate. So they are unable to communicate effectively through writing, because when you join any corporate, you have a habit or you have a workload of writing emails on daily basis. Bundles of emails you have to write, bundles of PPTs, bundles of presentations you have to prepare, and that needs that you should be well prepared. You should be well aware how to write in, what is the format of that. If you're writing email, that has a specific format. If you're writing an email to the director of the organization for some requesting for something, that has a different style of writing. So apart from knowing the basics, you all should be aware, the graduates or the students should be aware how to write effectively in English. So this is based on a survey that was done, that this is 66% of employers they're unable to write effectively through writing. Now introducing Grammarly for education, what Delhi University is already having the subscription that is there. So now these are some of the features. I'm not going into it because we have already covered. This is the very important thing, like after using Grammarly, this is also one of the survey which is being done globally, and that is by the Grammarly. So what is the positive impact on students after using Grammarly? Let's say they are using Grammarly for last 2 months, 3 months or couple of years. So you can see 94% of students reported improved grade, and 99% of students reported increased writing confidence, and 88% students are able to save their 1 hour plus per week on writing, editing and proofreading. So this is the feedback of Grammarly is using on the students. This is the improvement what has been done. Similarly, we do have a positive impact on educators. How it actually helping the educators is 97% of educators report increased writing confidence, and 78% are able to save their 1 hour plus per week. Because when when you done with using Grammarly, when you are done with correcting all your errors, you can actually download your progress report, or we can say the performance report or the overall score. So that is being downloaded, a PDF report is being generated, and whatever number of pages, let's say your document was of 25 pages. So the report will be of 25 pages. It will brief you at what level you have corrected, at what place, what word has been corrected, accepted suggestion of Grammarly or not. So it will be given in that particular document. So what students do is, if they are using Grammarly, if they are working on any research part and they wanted to submit to their professors, they submit that performance report which is being generated by Grammarly. So educators are actually able to analyze what are the hard points or where the student is lacking, so that they can focus on that part only, in respective of spending time just checking the document where the student is lacking and finding out the errors. So it is actually saving 1 hour plus per week while using Grammarly. Now how it works, this is a very important question, because there are so many hard and fast. There is no hard and fast rule, but yes, there are few specifications which user needs to. How it works is access to Grammarly. I can see there are professors joining us. So you might be using different databases, different e-books, different e-journals accessed through or provided via Delhi University in your respective domains. So that you can see the access is available via IPs. You are just going to the website, typing, let's say there's a platform Elsevier. If you are accessing any Science Direct journal or any Elsevier's database, the access is on IPs. So it's simply you go to the website, type elsevier.com, and you are having the access. Only condition is you have to be in the campus Wi-Fi range. Grammarly's access is not available via IPs. The access is provided via institutional email domain. When I say institutional domain, it will not consider your generic domain, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail. Not these domain, only it will accept your institutional domain, and that too access will be provided via admin of the license. Like we do have Delhi University's admin, Seema ma'am, and her team is controlling the admin of Delhi University. So she has a option to create the account. When I say create the account, which is actually called, she can send the invitation link to activate your account. Once you have the invitation link on your email ID, you can accept that invitation. It will ask couple of questions. You have to generate the password. Password should be of 8 characters, including 1 special characters, 1 numeric, and 1 capital letter. So this is how the account can be generated. But yes, you only have to use your institutional ID. Now apart from this, now let's say you are done with activating your account and you are ready to use Grammarly. But further on, once you are activating your account, once you are on the landing page of Grammarly or on the home page of Grammarly, you have to install few applications into your system. So Grammarly adopts what features or what applications you are having in your system. Once you are done with activating your account, on the left side you'll see there is an app section. From the apps, you can simply click on that apps. You can install Grammarly for extension, browser extension, Grammarly for Firefox, Grammarly for Microsoft Edge, like that you can install it. Now coming to the availability on all the softwares, you can see Grammarly is available on all the platforms. LMS, Google Doc, Grammarly for Mac and Windows is there. The Grammarly editor version which we use on any search engine, that is actually called editor version. Then email and social media. Then we do have Grammarly for even iPhone, iPad and Android devices. So like we use any social platform, we create our account. Similarly, the activation of Grammarly is done in the similar way. So you can simply download Grammarly's application from your Play Store, whether you are an Android user or iPhone user. Once the account is active, log in with your ID and password. So whenever any application you'll open, any application on your mobile phone, let's say you are sending messages, text message to anybody, you'll get a Grammarly logo either on the left or right side. Similarly, if you are using LinkedIn, Twitter, so if you are typing somewhere in your mobile application, there are no restrictions, Grammarly logo will be there with you. So it will give you click on that Grammarly logo, it will give you the suggestions, whatever suggestions you have written and whatever suggestions Grammarly is offering to you. In terms of availability, Grammarly is available on all these options. Yes, there is a specific, you can say a rule to install Grammarly or configure Grammarly into your different applications. There is only one different way to install or configure Grammarly into your Microsoft applications, Microsoft Word and Outlook. I'll walk you through how you can install, or if you are a Mac user, how you can simply add that extension into your Microsoft applications. This is what I was talking about as performance report. This is just a screenshot. You can see the screenshot of the first page. I'll also show you the downloaded report based on a specific document. So you can see productivity. You were more productive than 92% of Grammarly users. after using on that particular document. So this is just the screenshot of the first page of that performance report which was being generated. So it is a one-click PDF report which makes it easy to require students to check work with Grammarly before submitting. So this is how they can analyze. If they have missed it, so they can analyze with the help of this overall performance report, and if everything is done, they can submit that performance report along with their research paper or along with the document they have worked upon to their professors or educators. So this is how already like Delhi University is having the institutional subscription. This is all about Grammarly, what Grammarly is. Now I'll simply walk you through the landing page. But before that, I wanted to show you what kind of activation emails actually you are receiving or you will receive if any one of you have not activated their account. So just a second, I'll open this. You can see this is an email like Safdarjung Hospital. They also subscribe to Grammarly, and we are handling their admin part because they have so many users. They have around 2,500 users are using this Grammarly software, so we handle their account. So this is a kind of dummy email, you can say. Activate Grammarly for VMMC Safdarjung Hospital. Similarly, you will be, if you have not activated your account till now, you will be having this kind of email, activate Grammarly for Delhi University. So this is a system generated email. Sometimes it takes around 24 hours. Let's say if ma'am is sending the invitation today, so you have to wait till tomorrow, till 24 hours, because these are the email is being received on your institution domain. So there are a few restrictions which are being done from the IT team from both the sides, from the publisher end also and from the website, the institute end also. So sometimes there are very rare chance that this link sometimes take 24 hours. Otherwise you are receiving this link in next 5 minutes or within 5 minutes. What you have to do, how you can activate, you can simply scroll. There is the option to activate your account. Once you click on this activate your account, you can set your password. Yes, there is a confusion, especially with the students. When they activate their account, when they click on this activate your account, they simply have a screen. And this is actually creates a confusion because when they type their email ID here, it on the next step it asks for the password and they come to the admin that we don't have the password. So it's not like that. You have to click on I don't have an account, type your email, create your password, use 8 characters or more, give your name, agree and sign up. After further on, once you have this done, it will ask for a couple of questions like who are you a student, educator or other. These 3 options are there. And apart from this, there is one more thing it actually asks sometimes is most of your writing is 4. There are 7 to 8 options, mistake free writing, tone detection. So you can select all the options. There is no, this is just to activate your account. So you can select all the options. Further on, the customization can be done from your account. So once you are done creating your account, this is the step to activate your account. So this is actually the landing page. Now, how you all can make sure that you have activated your account successfully. So you can see there is a symbol EDU. So this symbol is there. If the symbol is coming up, it means you have successfully activated your account and you are having the paid version of Grammarly via Delhi University. This is the symbol. These are the options. Now what is the next step? Before start using Grammarly, the next step is simply click on this apps section. Grammarly for Windows, Chrome, iPhone, iPad and Android. I can see these options. I have installed it. So if I want to reinstall, if I am facing some issues, I can reinstall it. And if you are a new user, you can install all these applications as per your system requirement. Done. Once you are creating your account, done with your creating account, done with installing all the apps, the third option is you have to configure Grammarly in your Microsoft applications. How you can do that? I need to check with ma'am whether she has sent a link or not. If not, you can simply type Grammarly for Microsoft Word. You'll see the first link, Grammarly for Microsoft Office. You can simply, it's not showing because I do have already an account. You'll see the option here. Click here. Let me just show you with the link. Just a second. it is basically the link which is, I hope ma'am has installed on the Delhi University's website, where this Grammarly this is done. So once you click on that link, if you are a non-Mac user, you need to click on that link. Sorry? This link? Seema ma'am is the admin of your license. She can send out the invitation link to activate your account. So you can contact her. If she has limit in her account, for if that 1000 users limit is not crossed, she can send you the link, because she is the admin of your license. Now this is click here. You can simply click here. It will ask, you can install, which is called Grammarly add-ins. Grammarly add-ins will be installed into your system. You will be clicking on that application and install into your system. It is opening. It will ask get started, and you can select all these options, Microsoft Outlook, and install. Once you are done installing it, how you can make sure that it is being installed into your system? I already have running in my system, that is why it is showing like that. How you can make sure? Let me open my Outlook. You can see there is a Grammarly logo there. If that logo is appearing in your all the Microsoft applications, it means you have successfully configured it. But here is one condition. You all need to make sure when you are clicking on that link, please make sure that all your Microsoft Word and Outlook is closed, that any tab should not be open. If any tab is open and you are installing it, it will create some issues. Maybe there are 80% chances that Grammarly will not be able to configure into your Microsoft applications. So only this is the condition. You need to make sure all your Microsoft applications are closed if you are a non-Mac user and clicking on that link. Now coming to the Mac users. Here are the steps. There is a simple step. You open a blank document, Microsoft Word, open a blank document. There is an option in the insert menu, add-ins, get add-ins. There is the option of add-ins. You click on that add-in, search for Grammarly. Grammarly will appear once you have installed Grammarly into your system. Grammarly will appear. Click on that Grammarly button. Once you are done, it will ask for OK. You want to install. 2 to 3 simple steps will appear. Click OK and click as per the requirement and done. So there is no hard and fast rule for Mac users that you need to click on some other link and this link and that link. It's very simple. Go to your insert menu, open blank document, search Grammarly into the add-in section. So this is how for the Mac users. Now this is all about creating your account. This is all about like configuring Grammarly into your all applications. Now we'll proceed for how you can customize your own profile. So there is one important thing for the users. You can see on the website, it is admin panel. For all the users or for all of you sitting here, it will be account setting. So there is a confusion. It will be account setting. It will not be the admin panel. Let me open the user profile for you all. If I have, yes. So this is the user's profile. You can see account, trash, version history, my Grammarly and apps. So this is completely a user's account which we have. Now if I'll click on the account section, so before working or start using, after completing those 3 steps configuration, please click on this account tab. There is an option called writing preferences, which is very important. You need to you need to give the preference of your writing specifically. Let's say you are a user. It's very simple. You click on this accounts. First this tab will appear. From here it's basic. You can update your name, you can update your password, and you can even delete your account. If you want to delete, there is the option to delete your account. This is one of the important thing is most of your writing is for. If you are selecting school, it will ask at your expected graduation year. If you are a work, and you can say if you are an educator, you can select specially others. But yes, there is a question comes up that if while creating your account as well and while going to this option, that whether it makes any difference if you are selecting school or if you are selecting other or if you are selecting work. In terms of features, in terms of everything, it doesn't make any difference. Only thing is, it is why this preference is being given, so that Grammarly can analyze who all are the end users. If something comes up, if somebody is reaching out to them, because there are so many support email IDs which you'll see on the Grammarly's website. So what usually users do is they write directly to them. So it's to find out the issue, to resolve their issue, it's very important to them who is he or who the user is. Is he a student or a professor, educator, or any other commercial user? So it's very important for them to know to rectify the issue, because there are some issues that there are some basically at majority of the level what Grammarly support team receive the issue is for the data security. Only for the data security. They have bundles of email related with data security. So what they do is, if still they are not, basically user is not very happy or user is not very sure that whether I am uploading my confidential data or I want to upload, I really want to use Grammarly, but still I have a doubt in my mind. So what they do is they share a NDA over your email. That is a non-disclosure agreement. It is, I think, a 15 pages of document. It defines how Grammarly's data is secured with each and every step, what steps they are following, who all are working for them, which I mentioned, HIPAA software, FEPRA is there, so all are working, so they define everything. But yes, it is a NDA, non-disclosure agreement, so we cannot share it with every user. Yes, you can reach out, you can yourself reach out, they'll be happy to share. Within 24 to 48 hours, you can get that NDA on your email ID, if still you have that issue in your mind. Now coming to the next option, which is writing. Writing, here it has is, you can see personal style, organizational style. You don't have to confuse between these two. Personal style is your own customization, what you will be doing the customization for your account. Organizational style is what admin has done for all of you. Let's say admin has selected some word that admin wants the university should not use these specific words. So the admin can block those words. So this is something organizational style. Organizational style is what admin has said to you. So you only need to focus on personal style, because in India what we have experienced so far, admin is not giving any kind of reference, and that is not required, because every user has a liberty to set their own limitation, to set their own expectations from Grammarly. So there is nothing to do with this organizational style, only the personal style. Personal style, when I click on that your dictionary, it is your dictionary. What is the use of this dictionary? You all can have, or you all can create your own personal dictionary. And what is the impact, what is the benefit for this? Let's say there are so many words. For example, you want to use some words from Ramayana, you want to give reference from Ramayana, you want to give reference from Mahabharata, and those are English words. English, when I say it's a name, let's say it's Arjun, or I want to use any word Sita, like that. So as per Grammarly, when you upload that document consisting those kind of word, Grammarly will show you the error, which will create a irritation in your mind, because I want to use this word but still Grammarly is showing the error. So just to avoid that error, just to avoid that, Grammarly should give you the suggestion on those words. Just to avoid that thing, add that word into your dictionary. It is a user, you simply type a word and add it. Let's say I want to add Sita, and I can add it.
It can be done one by one or multiple words?
Multiple words can be done, sir. Multiple words, if you have a specific list in your mind, let's say for 50 words, 100 words, so admin has a facility that they can import that list. That list can be imported directly. They can do it. Nothing is required, and that Excel file can be uploaded onto that. So this is something, your dictionary. Now coming to the language settings. Language settings is, you can customize your primary language and your dialect language. So when I say dialect in the primary language, it has Urdu, it has Tamil, all languages are there. Indian languages, if I speak about, so majority of the Indian languages Grammarly is already having. So let's say I will simply type English, so I can English, and dialect languages, you can see American English, British English, Canadian, Australian, and Indian English. Till last year only Grammarly was having these 4 options. Indian English has recently been introduced. That is on the demand by the Indian users, that Indian English option should be there. So these is something what you can do in your language settings, primary and dialect settings. Now there's one more option, Fluency Assistant. It's nothing. It's just whether it's up to you whether you want to switch it on or switch it off. It is something, when you are making it off, it is making your Fluency Assistant. It is your Fluency Assistant. It's just it's not of any requirement, because when you are doing your customization, like tone detection, brand tones, selecting your snippets. That is, everything is being done in your that setting. So there is nothing too much worry about this option. Only option is your primary and dialect language. Now coming to your preferences, this is one of the important part. Your preferences. Your preferences, you can see the very first option is adhere to APA, MLA or Chicago writing style. So if you want to adhere to these writing styles, you can switch it on. I want to switch it on, I can switch it on. Every user can do the customization, that writing preferences for their own account. So you can do that, those preferences. There is a option, there is a this avoid passive voice. So if you are an active user, if you want to write in active voice, so you can simply switch it off as per the document requirement. So it's not up to you. Let's say that you are working on different domains, different domains of you are doing research in different domains. So every domain has a specific requirement. Let's say in some of the document you want to use passive voice, and in some of the document you want to use let's say rewrite sentence for clarity, but in some another domain you don't want to write whatever you are writing, that should be there. So you can select as per the document wise. So it is up to you. Let's say you are uploading on daily basis 5 documents, you are checking 5 documents. So these customization can be done once or can be done as per the document wise. So that is completely on the user's base, what you are doing, how you are using, what command you are giving to Grammarly. Very important part is when you are started using Grammarly, Grammarly adopts your writing style, and whatever writing style you are writing, whatever is your writing style is, active voice, passive voice, or whatever it is, because every user, even I and you all are sitting here, you have your own writing style, so it detects. So for example, if you are sharing your credentials with anybody, you are using Grammarly from last 1 month and you wanted to share your login credentials with somebody else. Whether he is a user of Delhi University or not, that's the different concept, but you are sharing your login credentials and that user is using Grammarly, but that user will not be satisfied with the suggestions what Grammarly will offering to him or her, because you have your own customization. User 1 has already used, you have your own customization, you have done your own customization. He is not aware what are writing preferences, he is not aware what are tone suggestions, so he just started using Grammarly. So that feedback, if you'll ask for the feedback, which will be very negative. So yes, it is advisable to all the users that you should not share your email IDs with anybody. Now there are so many writing preferences. When we say writing preferences, there are so many. Let's say use consistent spelling, sound more diplomatic, sound fluent, use gender neutral generic pronouns. And if you have any issues like what it is examples are already there. You click on this examples tab, examples are already there. That every member has his role. Instead of his, it should be there, because it is a gender neutral generic pronoun. So that is, all options are there. You can just review one by one, and based on your preference of the document what you are working and the research part, all these options you can customize. Now coming to, these are the all organization style. If you want to see that what brand tones, what your organization has said, these are the brand tones. I want to sound positive, considerate, project confidence, I want to sound formal. So everything can be done from this brand tones. This is on brand. On brand means these are the what admin has given the option, or admin has given the permission to use all these brand tones. So it means your document will be I want to be relatable, I want to be positive. In these options, these brand tones will appear on your screen. Organizational dictionary, what your admin has given your words, like what your admin has said, you can just simply see. If you have recommendation onto that this word should not be there, then you can reach out to your admin and they can simply delete it, because that deletion option is also there. Style rules. The style rules is something, there are few specific rules. Let's say try to avoid jargon that not everybody understand. NET-NET means nobody will understand what is this. You click on this, it is ultimately. So what Grammarly, these kind of rules can be set. If there are specific rules, let's say you want to use DU, abbreviation DU, not Delhi University every time you write. So that style can be generated. That style rule can be made from this Grammarly step, and you can simply, what usually happens is if you simply type any abbreviation, Grammarly gives you the error that you should write in the formal way, or when you write any numeric number, let's say you are writing 5, 10, 15 in your document. So it asks, if you are not giving her any preference, it will give you to write that 5 should be FIVE, 15 should be 15, like that. So that these kind of small customizations are very important, because these are the very basic things which we use in every kind of document, despite of research. Even though if you are simply writing an email and want to configure any word, like numeric word, 5, 15, so these are very specific things. But when you are doing your preference, this will make, because Grammarly will keep on appearing, that suggestion will keep on appearing on your screen. Still you have an option that you can, if you are using it in your Microsoft application, that logo is visible, click on that logo, you click, it is on, you click on that logo, it is off. If you are not happy that I have written one line, Grammarly is giving my suggestions. So that creates sometimes it creates because you have, like, let's say somebody has a deadline, they want it to work. So you can simply switch it on and switch it off. If you want Grammarly to give you the suggestions right away, please click on it, click on that logo. If not, then switch it off. Once you are done with writing, either you upload on the editor version or you switch it on in a Microsoft application. That's all, the suggestions will appear in one go. So you can review within a couple of minutes, accept and dismiss the suggestion. That is also there. Coming to the third part, which is tools. We do have snippets. Snippets is something, a shortcut key, you can say. I'll start with this tour because it's very important. Ready to save time. What snippets is basically is, there are the shortcuts. Shortcut means, for example, if you are submitting or you're writing a research paper and you wanted to submit it to somebody, let's say you are doing research because the professors are there, they keep on doing the research for the complete year on different domains. So you have to write, sometimes you are submitting in digital formats because everything is digital nowadays. So you're submitting it, you're writing an email, and that email is only the writing or the base of the email is same, only you are changing your research name and your like if there is a document number or if there is a reference you want to give, only you are changing all those things. So that is possible. You can create your snippet. You can create, how you can create, simply you can name it. Let's say I wanted to name it Delhi University. Only me, because I am a user, this is a user's account, I have option to only me. I cannot see, but yes, admin has the facility that they can select anyone in the selected group. So admin can do that snippet, they can create snippets for the complete organization if they want. So that is also possible. Only me, you can save, you can done. This is your collection. If you want to now create your snippet, give you the snippet any name, DU, and type your content here. Anything like Grammarly is an AI based writing assistant tool. I am done. I can save it. That's all. Once I save this, let me select, in which I have two Delhi University and organization, two collections I have. So it will ask you in which collection you wanted to save. Let's say I wanted to save in Delhi University, I can save it. So it will be appearing in my Delhi University. If you want to delete it, let's say if it is not no more required, if you want to change it, delete it, and if you want to remove it to some other collection, that is also possible. Now coming to the second most important part is, apart from, like, you do have an option to download your performance report as well, but yes, you can check your writing performance or your writing progress. Once you click on this analytics tab, there is an option your writing progress. You can see your writing progress here, performance score, top tones detected, top areas you have improvement for, Grammarly's usage, because this is a user's account which we use for the training session. So this is, nothing is coming over here. So it will show you how many of your writing suggestions you have attempted, what percentage of sessions you have improved, how many days were you active in the specific period of time, which is 26 August to 1st September. So this will analyze your report. You can yourself analyze where basically this is being used by the students. If you are a student, you can simply analyze your work part, that where you are able to stand after using Grammarly. Let's say you have started using today, you can take a screenshot of this, and after a couple of months, if you want to have a review on your performance report, you can have a check. So this is how. Then we do have option your organization team overview. Team overview is something you have option. This is only yours. This is yours. This is a detailed one. What you have done on what specific days in terms of graph, and you have option glossary. You can customize previous 7 days, custom date range, and there is a. If you have specific concerns and you are unable to analyze, there is option of glossary. You can click and you can see analytics glossary, what writing session means, what improved writing session means, what writing session with issues means, what suggestion means. It will give you the idea what kind of performance, at what level Grammarly checks, and what does mean the specific means writing sessions improved, what is the percentage, how many days you were active. So everything is visible. Apart from this is all about what Grammarly has, how you can customize your profile, what are the specific features into that. But still, if somebody has any question related to Grammarly when you are using it, so there is a simple option. You can go to Chrome, type Grammarly support. This option is visible. This is available for everybody. Click on it, ask any question to this. So it will ask you, it will help you. Like I just wanted to say, what is Grammarly for education? So it will give me couple of questions. What is Grammarly? Get started with Grammarly for education. Does Grammarly sell my data? Everything is visible, and that too with, this is a Grammarly's website. So if you have specific questions, anything, if you are working on specific part, specific thing, you are happy to reach out to them. You are happy to reach out to this Grammarly support team, or you are happy to reach out to us or to the admin of license. We'll be happy to assist you in any way we can. So in terms of basically what Grammarly has is, because what they do is, in India we represent them. So whatever errors or whatever emails they receive, they forward it to us. So at the end we have to reach out to them. We have to explain what this issue is, and that too specifically during my 4 years of experience, there are only basic questions. What we receive is very common, which I made clear in the very first. Type of license. The users are unaware. They are very confused between premium and education license. So the name of the license is just to identify the type of license. So what Delhi University has is Grammarly for Education premium license. You can say that premium access we do have, because there is no difference in terms of features if we say. Coming to the data security, second question is what is very important is data security. So data security, I showed you. If you still have any questions, there is an email ID support@grammarly.com. support@grammarly.com. Yes, ma'am.
So far, whatever you have told is when we are writing in the Microsoft Word. But that's not the only platform people are writing. For example, most of my documents I am preparing on the LaTeX platform using either Mixed or Technique Center.
Okay.
So that's where I would like to check things. Or the PDF that it generates, I would like to have some feedback on the write-up in the PDF. So is there a possibility of doing that?
Yeah, there is a possibility, but in terms of PDF, ma'am, you cannot upload or you cannot check PDF. You have to convert it into Word, and then you can use Grammarly.
And LaTeX?
LaTeX, Grammarly can be configured with Overleaf and LaTeX. If you have that into your system, there is a specific guide into that. Usually we don't have the access. What I can do is I can reach out to you separately. I can share the specific guidelines with you.
So I would need an Overleaf account.
Yes, you would be needing a Overleaf account. There's a specific things which we will do from the backend to configure Overleaf and Grammarly. There's a specific thing what technical team does. This is something recently we have noticed with IIT Delhi, so we did for them as well. So I can reach out to you separately, and I can have ma'am, do you have ma'am's email ID?
Okay, I'll share it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I can do that. Yes, data security. I was just mentioning data security. If you still have any concerns related with data, there is an email ID support@grammarly.com. You can write to them, and that Grammarly backend team will revert to you with that NDA on your email ID. You can review that, and afterwards you can start uploading your document on Grammarly, whatever, especially your confidential document. So this is how, but yes, I would like to add on one more thing, that AI, generative AI, admin has the authority to whom they want to give the access of this generative AI. So far, Delhi University's access is for professors and the research scholars, so it is being activated for everybody. So, but yes, yes ma'am. Not so, because now recently we have this AI feature, plagiarism detection and generative AI detection. You can see on the right side corner, plagiarism and AI text check.
But in the Turnitin workshop, they told that if Grammarly is rephrasing the sentence, because that is also an option shown, then it will show AI based.
What he's mentioned is, if you are rephrasing any text using Grammarly.
No, Grammarly itself gives suggestion that
Yes.
you can rephrase it, the sentence.
Yeah, increase the impact of your text. Yes, it is
So
there.
they themselves rephrase the sentence and give it to you, and you accept sometimes. So
Yes.
Turnitin will show plagiarism.
It should not be there. It should not be considered a plagiarism if that is pure text. Let's say you have worked on this profile, you written all these things. You have written this paragraph, you have rephrased it. Let me rephrase it, increase the impact of your text. It is reviewing your text and you are simply accepting that. So you can simply let me do it practically in front of you. Just a second.
May I rephrase the question?
Yes, sir.
So probably see the concern regarding submission of the manuscript to some journal.
Okay.
So whenever we are submitting, say for example, a manuscript to the journal, we need to disclose or declare that whether I have used any kind of AI assisted tool for this or not, and the percentage.
Yes.
So even if, so for a Grammarly, say for example, I am correcting it, but it is self-written, so I am checking it for say for example errors. And now with Grammarly, if there is an AI tool available, so then what should be the criteria for disclosing it while submitting to the manuscript, that how much AI I have used, or is there any version, so that I can disclose that okay, I have used AI tools using Grammarly for writing the manuscript or editing the manuscript. So that is, this is the question.
But different institutions have different tools altogether. It will not be easy because we don't know it is catching our pattern also in our writing style. So we are getting donating our style to Grammarly. Then it will show plagiarism to what we have written.
See, I got the question. I got the question that if you have generated your text, you have worked on that text, but still after that you are rephrasing it. You wanted to? No. Grammarly will not show you the suggestion in terms of rephrasing it. You can see here. That is considered a clarity, conciseness. So it rephrases as per your preferences. There are two different things. There is a confusion. It will not be converted into AI generated. It was based on the performance, like I showed you for your preferences, your writing preferences. Now, if you are submitting your performance report along with the document, Grammarly's performance report, let me show you the performance report. Let's say I am done. I am downloading this PDF report. It shows actually what are the suggestions. There is a difference between suggestions what Grammarly is offering based on your reference or based on your customization, and there is a difference between rephrasing. What rephrasing is? Rephrasing is Grammarly is not giving you the. No, there is a difference, dear. There is a difference. Rephrasing is something different. Rephrasing with Grammarly, let's say you want to rephrase it. That comes with an option called, I'll show you, that is increase the impact of your text. If you want to increase the impact of your text, if you click on it, if you accept this suggestion, this is an AI based text. It is reviewing your text, rephrasing it, it is an AI based text. You are accepting it, then you are submitting it to your readers and it is going under plagiarism detection, definitely it will come under AI because you are not doing that customizations into that. But similarly, if Grammarly is giving you the suggestions, let's say I am excluding plagiarism, I am excluding rephrasing. I have done some customizations on my profile, and this is how it is giving me the suggestions. Correctness, clarity, what you were saying, that it rephrase the sentence. which actually comes under clarity. So it will not, that sentence will not come under AI because it is rephrasing, giving you the clarity based on your customizations, what you are doing it.
Being words which I highlighted right now, they are not coming with plagiarism.
No, they are not coming because these are the specific.
General suggestion will not come under.
Yeah, general suggestions will not come under AI until an AI will come, because if when you are rephrasing the sentence using Grammarly and copying as it is, yes, copying that as it is without any change, and let's say you are generating any context from AI and you are copying it as it is, so that will come under AI detection. Then I'll show you how to check. There is an option called plagiarism and AI text check. You click on that, plagiarism and AI text check. It will give you how much of your document is being plagiarized and how much of your document has been copied from AI. So there is a difference. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, because you are not doing any change. It will detect under plagiarism. This is how you can see this is a complete document. 2% of your text matches this resource. At the end there is a summary. 11% of your document external source, and 62% of your document appears to be AI generated. So I have copied everything from AI in this document. I have copied this whole paragraph from this AI. So it is showing that 62% of my document is actually AI generated. I have not done any customization. I have asked AI, Grammarly AI, and inserted into my document. So this is how it actually gives you the difference. Plagiarism, and when it comes to plagiarism, let's say this is a best fantasy cricket app. This is a kind of link or line you wanted to give it a reference, and you want to have that in your document. Just give a simple reference. APA MLA. How to do that? Click on this Grammarly citation generator. You click on this Grammarly citation generator. Similarly, click on here. If the source is generative AI, click on the generative AI. If the source is something, let's say image, journal, article, lecture, let's say I'm selecting this. I want to give the company name. It's Total Library. I'm selecting today's date, and the product name, it is Qualtrics, which I written about, and the URL. I can copy the reference. I can paste it here. This complete URL, and I can simply rephrase. I can copy this citation. Once that citation is copied, whether I want to give the reference here or at the end of the paragraph, I can copy that. So this is how you are giving the reference and you are citing your document. So this is on whatever I have selected this APA. So APA has a style that the product name, company name, and the product name and the link should be there. So it is following that format. So this is the only difference between APA and MLA and Chicago styles, that they have a specific difference to give the reference. That's all. So this is how it is being, your document is being reviewed via plagiarism check and the generative AI check.
One has to go to the technical citation link.
Yes, sir. For
It is
the
not an inbuilt feature.
it's not an inbuilt feature. You need to type. It was an inbuilt feature, but now it is not an inbuilt feature. You need to just go to Grammarly citation generator. First link will be there, and you can cite it. Copy the reference, and you can paste it into your document. Another important part is once you are uploading any document or started writing any document on Grammarly's editor version, there is an option on right side, goals. We have covered overall score and generative AI. There is option goals. So this is when you upload any specific document. So this goal has to be set. Whether what is the domain. If I am selecting academic, it will ask the type and format. If it is not, if I am selecting business, it will ask what is my intention, whether I wanted to describe or I am informing something to anybody, what is my audience and what is the formality. So these things, this is also one of the important customization after writing suggestion when you are writing on Grammarly or editor version. When I am saying editor version is called, you are using Grammarly or any search engine, that is called Grammarly editor version. Yeah, separately for each document, sir. There is an option you can see, reset to defaults, whether you want to reset. And if you're not clicking on this box, then you can do the document wise customization. You can set your goals document wise.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm writing a paper and I've written the abstract and I've pasted on this Grammarly thing.
Okay.
Now there will be suggestions to change the words.
Yeah, there will be the suggestions,
If I
sir.
accept those, then it's not going to be considered as
No.
plagiarized document.
No, it will not be considered because those are the basic your English corrections. That's the.
If it is requiring extensive correction, my English is very poor. So maybe there are
Yeah, it will rephrase your sentence. It will rewrite your sentence. That will not come under AI. That will not come under plagiarism. There is a.
May I just
Yes, yes,
very
ma'am.
simple basic question. If I've written a paragraph
Okay,
and
ma'am.
I select the option is correctness,
Okay.
it changes little words, little grammar here and there, then it will not come under plagiarism. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Now, but if I choose the option is clarity or increase the impact, then it will
No.
come under plagiarism.
Clarity and increase the impact. Clarity is different. It is one of the feature of Grammarly. Increase the impact of your text is equals to rephrasing. There are two options. When I am clicking on clarity, you can see it is giving me options. I can select. But when I click on this, these suggestions you are accepting it. It will not come under plagiarism and AI. But if you are clicking on this increase the impact and you are copying that as it is, that will come under AI detection because you are rephrasing it, and rephrasing uses artificial intelligence to rephrase your document. Rephrase itself says it is rephrasing in different sentences.
So in clarity, whatever suggestion is given me, I accept it as it is. Copy paste will not come.
Not because clarity is a feature.
What are the other three options? that
Other options is basically engagement, ma'am. Engagement is something when, let's say, you are selecting your brand tones, you want to sound positive, optimistic. So engagement, this option will make sure that your message is being given in the right direction. Then coming to delivery, delivery is something, it's a very option on reviewing your data, reviewing your document based on all your customizations, whatever you have done from goals, whatever you have done from writing preferences, style guides, snippets. In the delivery, it will actually detect that whether your document you have corrected all the errors, whether Grammarly has given based on clarity, correctness, engagement, all the suggestions. So it is making sure that delivery is being given in the right direction in respect to all the suggestions what Grammarly is giving. Style guide is something if you are using something outside whatever style has been created for your organization, for your university, and if you are still writing that, then that error will come here. You can accept that.
If I use ChatGPT, it also refines the language. So
Yes.
Grammarly, how
Ma'am, there is a very niche difference between Grammarly and ChatGPT. ChatGPT usually let's say you are giving any command to ChatGPT and you are getting the text. So that is the text. What is the source? They are unable to define the source. But the source is something being copied. But what Grammarly is giving, those are actually natural human-made text and the ready-made draft. You can say that too very exclusive draft. So if you ask somebody, if you ask generative AI, it will give you. But yes, there is a similarity. Let's say you are checking GDP, 5 years GDP growth rate. So that data will be same. But there is a still in depth. There is a difference. 5 years GDP, for example, Grammarly has done the analysis till 2023 April, and ChatGPT has done the analysis till February 2022. So ChatGPT will be able to give you the data until February 2022, but Grammarly will be able to give you the data for 5 years of GDP until April 2023. So this is the only difference between Grammarly and ChatGPT.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When I'm composing an email, so can Grammarly get involved at the very start, or I should compose it based on Grammarly?
No. Grammarly, once you are done with activating your account, sir, there is an app. It will take care of it. Whatever applications you are using in your device, whether you are using Outlook or whether you are using Gmail, Microsoft Word or the editor version, Grammarly will be there for you.
I don't need to paste it over.
No, you don't need to paste it in the editor version. It's not compulsory.
Browser extension. I think
Yeah, the browser, web-based extension, browser extensions, all are available, sir. So as per your system requirement, it detects. Yeah, there is an option, dear. When you say there is a something, let's say I have opened any document, I have made any changes, and it will give a pop-up that if you have done it mistakenly, undo it. But it will be for couple of seconds on the right side. You can undo it from there. No, later on you can't do it. Later on you can't do it. You can't undo that suggestion. If you want to review it, if you forgot that wherever you have made the suggestion, that will be available in your overall score or the PDF report. That will be there if you want to review, but that undo option afterwards will not be there.
But I don't have any account from Grammarly, but I'm using Grammarly.
There is a free version, sir. Free version has some limitations. With the help of free version, you cannot check your basic. It will only correct your spelling errors, punctuation errors. That's all up to some level of words on daily basis. But this paid version is coming up with this plagiarism, AI, citation. You can do everything with this. You can customize your profile accordingly. That is there with you. But anyhow, you can have the access, sir, paid access. Ma'am can send you the invitation and you can have that access. Yes, sir. Basically, I am done. I am just having the questions. So if somebody has some more questions, please do let me know. Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you. Can we? But no, ma'am, that is not. No. Unfortunately, at present, it's not there with Grammarly, ma'am. Only you can select your primary language, Tamil, Telugu, like that. But as of now, that feature is not there. Yes, ma'am. No. If you want to check, if you are working on any PDF document, you need to convert it into the Word. You cannot upload that PDF. Grammarly cannot. Most of the institutions are not accepting. No, if you are submitting your overall performance report, it is being accepted. All the students, like we do have a research on this from the IIMs, basically 21 IIMs. We did this research and it is being accepted. We checked with them, everything was there. So it is being accepted. We got the calls from IIM that can we submit this. So that performance report is necessary. You have to submit the performance report because it shows everything. Yes, ma'am. I'll come over, ma'am.
एजुकेशन ये यूनिवर्सिटी से लूँगा
जी सर.
तो ये मेरा इंस्टीट्यूशनल ईमेल आईडी से होगा.
हाँ जी सर.
लेकिन मेरा ओवरलीफ का अकाउंट है जो वो मेरा पर्सनल अकाउंट से.
वो कोई बात नहीं सर, वो कॉन्फ़िगर हो सकता है. देयर इज सम स्पेसिफिक थिंग्स, बेसिकली वो IT टीम करता है, बट दैट इज़ पॉसिबल. वो आपका ईमेल आईडी मैं मैम से ले लूँगी, मैम का भी लेना है तो I can connect with you over the email. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Like I have like 4 or 5 gadgets. I have taken my user ID and specification in all of them. तो मैं उसको इस्तेमाल कर सकती हूँ all the 5 gadgets.
Yes, ma'am. Simultaneously, different times भी और simultaneously
कर सकती हूँ
आप कर सकते हो. 5 से 6 आराम से कर सकते हैं, कोई इशू नहीं है उसमें. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You have a very thorough and very, excellent presentation.
Thank you
Very
so
nice
much.
presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.